If you lost your job today and were going to be out of work for the next 3 months, would you be okay financially? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video, emergency funds. Real quick, y'all. This is a win for me, but the hair is growing, but it's so rare I'm able to perfectly get it into an actual ponytail. So that's a highlight moment for me. But anyway, let's get past that. Let's get into the video. Okay, so here are my reasons of why I think it is important to have an emergency fund. Number one, obvious reasons, is emergencies. So loss of a job that you didn't expect, or having to quit just because of the circumstances, but something that you also didn't expect to have to do. You're going to need money to care for yourself and continue to manage your household while you are out of work until you get another one. If there's a hospital bill, and especially if you don't have insurance, if you don't have health insurance, car insurance, any of those expenses, that's going to be straight out of pocket. And no one prepares for a car situation, a car accident. No one prepares for a health issue or a health accident. So you need to have funds for that thing. If you got some crazy ex and they went and slashed 3 of your tires, and now the insurance that you did have didn't cover it, you're going to have to pull money out of somewhere to get those tires replaced. So you see what I mean? You want an emergency fund for situations, emergencies that you did not expect. Things like an oil change, or things like getting new tires when you've known for years that at some point you're going to get new tires. Those are all things you can plan for. But any expense that was completely blindsided you had no idea you're going to have to cover, pull some money out of somewhere or cover this expense, this is what your emergency fund is going to be for. And that is important because when those expenses come up, you don't want to have to be scrambling around for money, trying to ask to borrow it, and trying to find all these new ways of getting money. And which brings me to my second point, you also don't want to be charging everything to a credit card. So, second point is, by having an emergency fund, you will stay out of debt. Or, at least a different kind of debt. So when you do have those emergencies, you're not like, well, I don't have the money, so let me just borrow this using my credit card. You're not going to have the funds to pay that back on time. So you're going to be collecting interest over a certain period, costing you even more money. So if you just had that emergency money set to the side, you could have pulled that out of there to cover that emergency expense, and you could have left the credit cards alone and not have to worry about it. So by having that emergency fund, you're more likely to stay out of debt for any emergency situations. Number 3, it gets you out of that lack mindset. So if you ever, when you were younger or even now, just did have some cushion money, it puts you in a different state of mind. It's difficult to explain if you've never been in that state, but when you're going out into places and you want to do something and you know that if something goes wrong, you don't even have money to cover that, you're going to be less likely to want to do anything. So you're going to kind of hoard and feel like be in this lack mindset of I literally cannot spend any money. Even though you do have the funds available, just knowing that you just have enough to cover your needs prevents you from wanting to do anything else. However, when you do have a cushion, you're more likely to splurge a little. You're like, you know what? I can go out and treat myself to this. I can take this little trip. I can do these things. It puts you in the mindset of abundance and not lack, because you have this safety cushion. And you can apply that to a lot of different areas in life. You can even apply that to think about a person in your life where you have been the safety net for them, or you have someone that's your safety net. And by all means, I don't think this is a good place to put someone, but it's life. People do it. But when you have somebody on the back burner, your safety net that is always going to be there, that's going to pick you up when you fall, that's going to do whatever, you're more likely to go out and make mistakes and to do situations and to live your life how you want to do it, because if that fails, you got somebody to fall back on. So having an emergency fund is the same way. If you go out and do something, maybe you overspend a little bit, maybe you try to start the pyramid thing and then you end up losing money, you want to go buy a lottery ticket, whatever. You're like, it's okay if I lose some of this money because I got a cushion. So having that emergency fund really allows you to be more abundant, take more risks, do more things, and just live freely. And then my fourth and final reason of why an emergency fund is important is because it's going to make you money. So when you open up an emergency fund, your best bet is to put that into a high yield savings account, not like the savings accounts you get when you open up your checking account at a very, basic bank. You want to put that money into a bank that has that higher return on your investment, because as you're putting money into this emergency fund, instead of getting 3 to 5 cents every month for keeping your money in that account, you're getting 30, 40 to $100 every month, depending on how much you have in there, just for letting the bank hold it. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is a way of allowing your money to grow. So if you have an emergency fund, let's say of $10,000, and no emergencies have happened for an entire year, so that money has been sitting there and the bank's been paying you $20 a month just for having that in there, that's money that you didn't have to put in there. That's money that you're getting for free. And so it's helping your money grow. And then when the year goes around again, and that $200-something that the bank has now given you just for holding money, they're not going to be paying you interest on that as well, because your total balance has grown from $10,000 to $10,200. So now you're getting even more interest. So it continues to grow. So as long as you don't have emergencies, this is money you can just grow on forever. And it's a great way. It's low risk. So you don't have to worry about, gambling, or you don't have to worry about trying to beat the stock market and having to go up and down. This money is just gonna be there, and it's going to continue to grow. So it's a good way of getting a return on your investment and making your money make you money. That's how we all get ahead in life, right? Like, your money has to start making you money. Maybe thinking, okay, KT, so like, how much should I even start with having an emergency fund? I would say, let's start small. So when I opened up this video, I asked you, if you lost your job and were going to be out of work for 3 months, would you be okay financially? If your answer to that question was no, start there. So do some math, piggyback into your bank statement, see what you spend your money on that's a necessity, see what you spend your money on that's a leisure, but still a necessity, because some things that make us feel good, or that it's something that we do with our free time, a leisure activity is still important. It's something that you don't want to stop doing. And then once you cut out the stuff that you can do without, whatever that amount is, times that by 3 and start there. So if $2,000 a month is what you need, so 2,000 times 3 is going to be $6,000. So you need to start with having an emergency fund of $6,000. And then once you get that completed, if you want to continue, like, maybe, in this economy, you could be out of work for longer than 3 months. Maybe you want to, like, okay, I got 3 months, but I might not get a job again in 3 months, so maybe I should extend that to 6 months. And then you can start to continue to grow that. And eventually, maybe you can have a whole year. And even if it's not just for emergencies, maybe you want to save up so that you can quit your job and maybe work on your own business, and you want to give yourself a year to really, like, focus on that wholly. So that can be a goal. So regardless, I would say, let's start with 3 to 6 months, and then depending on your lifestyle and how you want to live, you can even extend that to 6 months to a year. I wouldn't go over a year unless you're trying to also support a spouse or a significant other. So you want to have enough where if both of you lost your jobs, you could cover both of y'all. But if you're just a single person, I don't really suspect you'll be out of work for an entire year. So I think a year is good, and then any extra money after that, you can start putting that into another investment or something else. You don't need to really keep putting money into that account, because once you hit the amount that you need, there's no need. And then again, lifestyle is going to matter too, because again, if you don't have insurance that's going to cover stuff like cars or health, that could be a pretty big expense. So if you don't have insurance and you don't plan on getting it, then you might want to have a bigger emergency fund. So that's all going to depend on you, and you thinking about your lifestyle and thinking about what you would need an emergency for, and then just start there. Hope by now, at the end of this video, you've all just go ahead and like minimize me, and you got online and start looking for somewhere you can start opening you up a high yield savings account. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, you know what to do. Give me that thumbs up. That's all I got for this video. Per usual, I'll catch you in the next video. And as always, don't forget to crush it.